Welcome, traders. ZoneTraderPro is pleased to announce that the software update for the classification divergence indicator is now ready. During testing, one of the things that was discovered is that there appears to be a bug within the NinjaTrader version 19 release. And this has been reported to NinjaTrader by myself and my programmer. So it is recommended that when you're running this software that you go back to the last stable version, which is version 18.1 in NinjaTrader. If you run the version 19, you're likely to get errors such as the numbers will stop updating in real time, or you may not get any of the numbers at all. So it would be a real good idea to go back to version 18.1 until we know that the bug within Ninja has been fixed. The main difference in the indicator is going to be this section down here, which starts with show markers for criterias, and you're going to want to check that. I have placed the KP2 ratio at a 95 and the KP3 ratio I've put in at 500, and the KP2 value I've put in at 1200. Now, this is going with the settings to reconstruct the tape and a minimum filter of 25 and a price deviation value of 2. Now, this is going to be the important part because we are going to be setting the KP3 and the KP2 values based on what our zigzag is. So if your zigzag is 2 points, I'm going to keep this at 500 and 1200. But if we were to go to a zigzag of 3 points, I might put this up at 750 and move this up to 1800. You see how I'm proportionally increasing the value of the numbers based upon what the price deviation value is. If you were using a 2.5, you'd put that somewhere in the middle, maybe a 625, 650 for KP3, and maybe around 1400 for the KP2. There is no hard and fast rule. I haven't done any studies on what exactly these numbers should be, but these numbers are working out pretty well for me with the price deviation value of 2 points on a 2-point zigzag. So that is the settings I have for that. And of course, the deviation points in the zigzag ZTP match this. As I talked about in an earlier video, I've gone and created what I call the slim logic. In other words, I only want to see the solvers that I'm actually using in the template, and I only want one template here. So in this case, what I've done is I've just set the template up so that I am looking for any order flow signal. And what I was currently testing is I was testing just trend trades only. And I'm doing a study and a video on that right now. And so basically what we're seeing on this chart is we're seeing how back here at this long trade, how the long trade, it didn't really work out that well. It only got 9 ticks. And we could sort of told that because we had red going into all of the zigzags. And so that is a pretty good explanation of why this trade, while it didn't fail for a loss, didn't meet our profit target here. Next, we have a trend trade here where we had good selling leading us into the trade, and then we just barely missed our numbers here, followed by another trend trade where the numbers on both sides were met. We then took this into another trend long trade with the exact same result. We only got 9 ticks out of it. Well, why did we only get 9 ticks out of it? Well, because there was no strong movement in the cumulative delta giving us permission to trade. And then we end up here with a extremely nice short trade that went for over 11 points. And this would be the ideal setup that we would be looking for. We'd be looking for 2 reds down here, and then there's going to be 1 red here. It would be extremely unusual to have 2 red bars going into the trade, because what we're looking for is we're looking for the cumulative delta, which is this first red bar here, and then we're looking for the delta number for the low to the high. So in this case, the low to the high is a positive 537. So that's why it would be extremely unusual to get a second red bar right here. Now, it is possible to have a second red bar right here, and that is basically the definition of what special divergence is. When, as price is rising, there is actually selling in the contract. And you can actually see that right here. As price was falling, the KP2 value, the value from the high to the low, is actually a positive number. It didn't meet our criteria for giving us a color classification, but that is why you're only usually going to see 1 bar going into a trade. The other 2 types of bars, of course, you could have at this point here is you could have a yellow for divergence, and you could have a black for a high KP2 ratio. In this case, we do have the high KP2 ratio, and we see that on these 2 trades right here, both of them had a divergence being shown. Okay, now why is it important that this is yellow? Well, because the numbers are not matching what we would expect to see because of the divergence, we want to be aware of that, as in this trade back here, where we see that we had a negative 1067 and a negative 944. There were 944 contracts on the delta selling here, and those delta contracts in fact turned out to be the correct direction of the market. There wasn't a valid accumulation at this point right here. So that's why we want to understand when there is a yellow, it is just a bit of a caution to you. Similarly, the black is that same bit of caution here, because we are going to be worried that the contract is going to be under accumulation and we could end up trading through the intermediate resistance zone. Very simple to install the software, but what you first want to do is come to the Tools menu, remove NinjaTrader Assembly, and you want to remove the assembly that says ZoneTraderPro NT8. It might also say ZoneTraderPro NT8 Distribute on it. I do not want you to uninstall the one that starts with the word final.ZoneTraderPro. That is the price patterns, and that needs to stay where it is. After you've uninstalled the old version, shut down Ninja, restart, and import the Ninja script add-on. If you should have any questions or have any problems, again, get me on Skype and we will get those worked out. And also just a reminder, real important that you come to the blog and sign up for the blog notifications, and at the same time come to the YouTube page and sign up for the notifications there also. The reason that I have you do it on both is that the WordPress plugin for the blog notifications sometimes has in the past not sent out the links to the videos, and this way, if you are subscribed to both, you will definitely receive any blog notifications and new video notifications. I want to thank you for watching and have a good day.